Enchanted Pony Academy, Chapter 4. After breakfast, Professor Zaid was waiting for the ponies in the training field. He was no bigger than a hummingbird. He moved as fast as one, too. I thought all the flutter ponies had disappeared during the age of recklessness, Daisy asked Skydancer. All but one family did. Now he's the only one left. It's quite sad. He's all alone. That's terrible, Daisy said. Skydancer nodded. All right, everyone, Professor Zaid said in a surprisingly loud voice. Line up if you've already found your glitter gift and show me what you can do. Most of the ponies walked over to him, but Daisy was relieved to see 3 other ponies stay behind with her. They looked at one another nervously. Skydancer went first with the teacher, showing him how she could chat with a passing butterfly. Professor Zaid nodded, impressed. That talent could be useful in any of the arts. Take your pick. Skydancer whined into Lance. I always wanted to be in guardianship. Then that will be your study group, the professor said. The ability to talk to animals of the air would be very useful when helping your prince or princess oversee their kingdom. What exactly do guardians do? A pony near Daisy whispered. They help keep their kingdom safe, a spotted gray unipony said. They offer their owners guidance. They're usually the smartest, bravest ponies. They used to be on guard to warn if dragons were approaching. Daisy gasped. She had always wanted to believe the stories, but had never been sure if they were more than myths. So dragons are real? Well, they were a long time ago, but no one has seen one in hundreds of years. I'm Stone, by the way. I'm Daisy. Nice to meet you. You know a lot about the academy, huh? I have 2 older brothers who went here. They both studied guardianship. That's what I want to study too, he said. Are you worried you don't know your glitter gift yet? Daisy asked. No, Stone quickly said. No, not at all. They turned their attention back to the ponies showing off their skills. Duke stomped on a nearby rock and it shattered into bits. He did it with one hoof. A cloud of glitter hovered in the air, mixing with the rock dust. Excellent, said the teacher. Duke puffed up his chest. I can also touch my horn to something, and it will change to whatever color I want. 2 gifts? Daisy asked Stone. It's rare, but sometimes it happens, said Stone, sounding a little annoyed. Professor Zaid sipped around in a circle, excited. Very good, Duke. Those will be wonderful for the tricks group. Duke frowned. But I want to be a guardian. You'll all study basic guardian skills, but I believe your gifts are best suited for concentrating on tricks, the professor said. Duke stalked back to the group, pawing angrily at the ground. 2 more ponies showed off their skills. Electra's horn and hoofs could glow in the dark, and Razzle could copy any sound she heard. They were both placed in the tricks group too. After a short break for lunch in the orchard, we're going to put you all through some tests, the professor said. Hopefully, we'll help the remaining ponies discover what they can do. And sometimes, a pony will find they have a second gift, like Duke has. Apples filled the nearby orchard, and Skydancer and Daisy galloped over with the other ponies to pick a few to eat. You won't believe what I heard from my bird nesting in a tree, Skydancer said, in between bites of her juicy red fruit. There's a river just beyond the school grounds that leads to the ocean. Sea ponies live there. Sea ponies? Daisy asked. She hadn't read about them in her books. Skydancer nodded. They live underwater. They don't have legs, just a fishtail and fins. A few of us are going to go check it out. Want to come? Are we allowed to? It's off school grounds, Daisy pointed out. It's only a little off school grounds, Skydancer said. You can decide later. We're going after dinner. Daisy wasn't sure what to do. She loved to see the sea pony, but she didn't want to get in trouble. After eating a few apples, they trotted back to the training field. For a moment, she'd forgotten how nervous she was. Professor Zaid hovered in the air and waited for them. Time to get back to work. Back on the field, he put the ponies through all sorts of tests. They ran and stomped their hoofs in different patterns, hoping to unleash their magic. To her relief, no one said anything about Daisy's hoofs not making glitter. Then Daisy spotted the headmaster and headmistress standing on the edge of the field watching. They were looking right at her. Were they frowning? She wondered. She felt nervous until they headed back to school. Next, the ponies practiced leaping. Rose, a pink pony who didn't know her glitter gift yet, flew through the air even though she didn't have wings. Everyone cheered. "I never knew I could do that," Rose said. "That's an excellent skill for pageantry or guardianship," the professor said. "I picked pageantry," she announced. After testing the ponies to see if anyone else could fly, they took a break. Skydancer galloped over to Daisy. "Did you see what Rose did?" "Yes," Daisy grumbled. She'd been working her tail off all afternoon, and not only were her hoofs stubbornly glitterless, she still seemed to be a totally ordinary pony. When they were done for the day, Headmaster Aloud appeared out of nowhere with a whoosh. A grayish orb faded around him. "He just teleported," Skydancer whispered. "That's incredibly advanced magic." He walked towards Daisy. Her heart was beating fast. "Daisy, could you please see me in my office immediately?" the headmaster asked. "Of course," she said quietly. Then he disappeared. "I'm sure everything's fine," Skydancer said, but her eyes were big and round. Daisy trudged to the headmaster's office in one of the high towers. Maybe he had been so disappointed with her performance. Today, he was going to send her home. Maybe he'd noticed that her hoofs didn't make glitter. As she climbed the tower stairs, she paused to look out a window across the school grounds. She could see the training fields, the orchards, and beyond. Then she noticed light glinting off a river. That's probably where the sea ponies live. She'd hate to leave such a wonderful place, but that must be why she was being called to the headmaster's office, right? To be sent home? When she got to the top of the tower, the headmaster's door was open. "Come in," he commanded. Daisy walked in and stood in front of his desk. She didn't dare look in his eyes. "Are you enjoying the school so far?" he asked. "Oh yes, I love it here." "And you're still waiting to find your glitter gift?" "Yes," she said sadly. The headmaster looked out the window behind the desk. "When I first came here, I didn't know mine." "You didn't?" He shook his head. His 3 horns sparkled in the sun streaming through the window. "It took a year before it appeared." "What was it?" He laughed. "I can run backward faster than I run forward." "That's interesting," Daisy said politely. "But it's not helpful for much. They put me in tricks because they didn't know what else to do with me. Yet here I am, headmaster of the academy. How could I imagine that if I could only run backwards fast?" "I don't know," Daisy said. "Because I trained harder at everything than the other students. I learned whatever I could from anyone willing to teach me." She could do that, couldn't she? She took a deep breath. "Have you ever had a student who never found their glitter gift?" "No," he said, looking her straight in the eye. She swallowed nervously. "But, Headmaster Eloise, my hoofs don't make glitter." "I know." "It's possible I might not be able to do magic at all." "Oh, I'd be very surprised if that were true. If your hoofs don't make glitter, there must be a good reason why, and you'll figure that out someday. I know you will." She nodded. "For now, I want you to work your hardest. Follow the rules, and while you wait to discover your gift, just believe in yourself. Do you understand?" "I do, sir." But she didn't know what he meant. Why would she believe in her boring old self? It reminded her of what her father had told her before she climbed the rainbow. "Good. Now head back to your stables and clean up for dinner." Thank you, sir. She galloped down the stairs and paused again to look out the window. No way she would be joining the other ponies on their adventure to spy on the sea ponies. She'd promised the headmaster she'd follow the rules.